What is going on, Rangers fans? I am Randy, and we are finally back for week number 4 of GBA D League. Of course, I am your coach of the Texas Pokemon Rangers in pursuit of our very first championship here in Season 4 of the GBA D League. Make sure you guys drop a like and comment down below. Hashtag pursuit as we look to make our comeback, looking to go 2-2 this week against the Leaf Storms, coached by OPJELLICENT. So make sure you guys give them a look as well. Yeah, so if you guys saw my video earlier this week about my front office, you guys will know that I got a fully revamped front office, let go of my 2 guys. And, I do plan on having a clean slate, playing different, with a fresh mindset. All right, as of right now, I feel like I'm 0-0 right now. That's my record. I am 0-0. Got all the time, to prep. I got all, worry-free mindset right now. Although I should be a little bit eager, a little bit desperate, I should be playing for my season right here. I got to take it one play at a time. I got to take it back to what I've always been saying. I take it one play at a time, and take it one game at a time. 1-0 every week, guys. We got to try to win every single game, and take it slowly. So that's the mindset. We have to take it slow. We can't get too ahead of ourselves here. But OPJELLICENT is 0-3 right now, and he needs to win this game to have a pretty realistic chance of making playoffs. Because if he loses this game, he's gonna have to go freaking like 7-1 within the last couple of games to have a chance, I think, or something like that, or 6-1 to have some sort of chance. He has to only lose one more game if he loses this one. So he's definitely playing for his season as well. Not to say he can't do it. His team's pretty threatening if he makes a few changes, perhaps. But we gotta get through him first, man. Because if he beats us, he could definitely get hot. So we don't want to get another guy going. So. We have, of course, his team right here listed. We have the Hoopa Unbound, Landorus, Incarnate. Of course, Sandforce only. Sureforce would be completely stupid. We have Florges, Kyurem, Registeel, Leaveney, Mega Pinsir, Manaphy, Xurkitree, which is one of his Zmon users, Pyroar, and the Virizion, which is his other Z Crystal user if he opts to bring one. So, of course, the main note about his team is that it's very, very slow. Excuse me, I have to sneeze. No, I don't have to sneeze. But like I said, his team's very slow. His fastest Pokemon on his team is the Virizion, which is pretty slow because I have stuff like Mega Lopunny that outruns that. I got my Latios, and having 2 Mons that can outrun his roster is always very nice. Even Ribombee outruns his entire roster, so it's always nice to have as well. But that's not to say his team isn't threatening. He's definitely going to have some Scarfers on his team, so it's going to be important to find out which ones they are, because I could definitely very well see him having 2 Scarfers. I know I've been saying that the past couple of weeks because of just the way my team is, but I have to be very smart in how I play this game, like I always have been, because Mega Lopunny cannot afford to be going down early in games. He also has a pretty definite answer, Revenger and that Mega Pinsir with the quick attack shenanigans, although I do anticipate him to be carrying a Feint because he can actually out-prioritize my quick attack in case I rely on Fake It Out and quick attack being able to knock out his Mega Pinsir. Of course, Z Xurkitree is something that's really scary. Being able to speed boost with Z Rain Dance or Z Hypnosis is very, very frightening, so I got to be careful with that. And of course, Sticky Webs is also very, very annoying. If he gets up webs, then his fat mons will be very hard to deal with, and having only a few defoggers in the Skuntank, the Latios, and the Rotom Heat. I need Ribombee too. It could be a little annoying at times, depending on what's in. But ultimately I have the removal. But if he gets up webs early and breaks through my team early, then it can end up helping him out in the long run. So. All that being said, let's go ahead and jump into my team and how I decided to build, how we decided to go about it. So like I said before, shout out to my new front office guys, the fresh roster consisting of ABP. We got David, Magic, Jacob, Johnny GB, Papa Max, Tom Z, and Vepsis, and of course Randy leading the way. I think it was all pretty much collaborative build. We all inputted in what we needed to do. Jacob had a pretty long essay about his spreads, and of course I will give credit to the spreads on who made the spreads, although I'll probably forget 1 or 2 of them because it's been almost a week and a half since the team was initially built. So yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into what I decided to pick out. We ultimately decided to go with Celesteela, Mega Lopunny, Latios, Mamoswine, Rotom Heat, and the Skuntank. It was a relatively easy build to go with. We didn't really see any room for Jellicent, because his Hoopa Unbound, and that's the main reason for it, really. Because those two were pretty much just fodder to it, especially if he was bringing some sort of sub Nasty Plot variant or even a Trick Room variant. That could have been very annoying for the squad. Shaman ultimately was just pincer fodder. And then, of course, the other two were Bombi and Barbarical. Had some consideration, but ultimately we decided that it wasn't more about them not being able to do enough. We just thought that stuff like Skunk, Rotom, and Mamoswine could do a lot more. Skunk Tank is my only really real Hoopa check onto his squad. The spread that Jacob came up with was actually avoids being 2-hit by any variation of Hoopa, as long as it isn't some Nasty Plot build. Although Celesteela has Z on its on the bottom right corner, it will not be packing a Z Crystal. It will be running leftovers. Just throw it out there. And you guys will see that in the Pokemon Showdown. So just don't be worried about that. We had the Mega Lopunny, which of course is very, very effective in this game. Very fast, outruns his entire squad. And the set we actually decided to run is very useful because it can actually prevent webs pretty much most of the time, depending on what his set is. And then Latios allows me to deal with the Manaphy a little easier, and of course it outruns the squad, so that would be very useful. And then Mamoswine helps me deal with his fatter stuff like Foragis and the Registeel, as well as being able to potentially pick off the Pinsir, because I can actually tank a +4 Feint if that has to be the case, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into the actual spreads here. We have Tom leading the way, nickname. All these guys after my front office guys. Although it is important to note that due to some technical issues, the battle may or may not be on Showdown, or may or may not have nicknames. So just keep that in mind. But I do want to showcase their names here at least, to give them some sort of visual of who I have now. So we're running Max Speed Jolly to speed tie Hoopa. We don't want to mess around. We want to be able to have a chance to outspeed it in case he's running Timid Max Speed or Jolly Max Speed. Earthquake is pretty spammable against the squad. His only two flying immunity or ground immunities are weak to ice, obviously, because they're flying. But Landorus is 4 times weak to ice. So clicking Earthquake is always safe unless he's running like an Air Balloon Circuitry. Air Balloon Circuitry could be very annoying for me, even though Ice Shard can almost 2-hit. It could be annoying because you're going to get it set up for free on the Mamoswine, worst case scenario. So that could be annoying. But Stealth Rock obviously was there to get up rocks because we didn't want to have room for Uxie. Ice Shard, of course, picks off the Landorus Incarnate as well as picks off the Pinsir, although Feint can go before me. I mean, Quick Attack can go before me too, but I really do feel like he'll bring Feint to be able to out-prioritize Lopunny. And in that case, I could take a +4 Feint, which is pretty cool. And of course, Ice Skull Crash is there in case I want to. I mean, it's just there for filler for the most part because we already have a pretty effective way of dealing with the Landorus, and I feel like I'll always click Ice Shard against Pinsir, especially if it's already chipped away or if Stealth Rock is up already. So yeah, Earthquake's pretty spammable. His only switch into it is a physically defensive Manaphy. So if he's physically defensive, I'll definitely be able to outrun that and potentially 2-hit it after rocks, which is ultimately going to be the play if I get up rocks early in the game. Next up, we have ABP, the Mega Lopunny, running Adamant Nature, enough speed to outrun that Virizion, and then of course Fake Out and Encore is there to deal with that Leavanny in case it is a Webs lead variant. Although the only way he could get it up if he's Scarf, like a Scarf variant to get up Webs. But ultimately we figured that Sash would probably be his play. There's a chance he could be Mental Herb in case he runs Protect, and then he would run if he was running Mental Herb, he can Protect on a Fake Out, and then on my Encore, my expected Encore, he can probably go for the Webs, and then Mental Herb will get rid of the Encore. So there's a lot of different things you can do. Ultimately, I think Scarf Webs is probably the safest way to get up the Webs. Sash is pretty, predictable, or just Protect Sash is pretty predictable. So we'll see what happens depending on what he brings. But Drain Punch was the play this week. I'm not sure how I feel about that because Low King does a crap tons of Hoopa and Registeel, but ultimately we felt that Drain Punching for free on switches would be effective in getting some HP back, especially if he is able to get up rocks. So we decided to go with Drain Punch, and that's what we're gonna go with. Next up, we have Papa coached. I'm saying coach for Choice Scarf Rotom Heat. Of course, this is a very, very nice answer to Manaphy. Obviously, I don't have Thunderbolt, but Volt Switch can do a lot to a Tailwind Manaphy. Obviously, it can't be a Calm Mind one because I don't have Trick or even Thunderbolt. Not that it would do much anyway. But it's mainly there for the speed boosting circuitry because the speed boosting circuitry will outspeed me at +1. And of course, overheat will do like I think 70% minimum, I believe. So it'll definitely put it in range of Ice Shard, and of course quick attack. So that's very useful having Rotom around, as it actually pretty much checks the circuitry as well. Can't really touch me unless he opts to run AZ, Rain Dance, Tail Glow, Thunderbolt, and Hidden Power Water. But in that case, my Latios would wall, so I'd be okay with that. So it really depends on what his set's gonna bring and what his set is. And we all feel like he's going to bring Energy Ball to hit Mamoswine and the Jellicent. But he could bring, I mean, he has Thunderbolt, but it doesn't have to hit Jellicent. But Hidden Power Water and Rain Dance could make sense potentially. So we'll see what the opposite go with that. Of course, Signal Beam is there to have one more, answer or one more super effective move for the Hoopa Unbound. Because Hoopa Unbound's pretty relatively safe switch into offensive Rotom Heat. Obviously, he wouldn't do it immediately because I can have Will-O-Wisp, but we felt that having that would be nice, especially since I only have one real switch into Hoopa Unbound anyway. And then of course Scarf Defog is there because Rotom does not care about the webs, and I can outrun anything and just get off the webs in case I want to get him off immediately. Next is a fusion, of course, of two of my members, Johnny GB and Jacob as always. And just want to throw it out there and make it clear, this is not a jab at them. This is not a jab at the two guys, no pun intended. I just wanted to squeeze them both into a Pokemon, and I felt on the Skuntank was fine, especially since Jacob did come up with the Skuntank spread, and Johnny GB smells. But just kidding. But yeah, I mean they're two cool guys, so it's not a jab. I just wanted to squeeze them in because there's 7 people and I only have 6 mons, so please don't take offense. So, like I said, Jacob actually came up with the spread. AV near with some defensive investment. This prevents me from being 2-hit by any Hoopa variant, as long as he isn't Banded Focus Punch. So that's really, really cool. Foul Play actually can almost one-shot an Adamant Hoopa Unbound, which is incredible. And Timid Nature with 0 attack IVs is still getting 2-shot without any question at all. So it's really, really cool to have that. It actually does more than Crunch to a few of his mons as well. So Foul Play was ultimately the play there. Pursuit is there to trap the Hoopa Unbound and potentially a mon locked in, like on a Scarf or whatever the case could be. And of course, Sucker Punches and Poison Jab are pretty self-explanatory. Jab is for the Florges, although Florges could probably tank it if it's running, max defense. So it's really just there for poison, poison chances, I feel like. So yeah. Next up, we have David Magic, the aka Magic, the Celesteela, running a mixed defensive variant. Of course, this is allows me to take hits. I already walled up Mega Pinsir, so I don't really need much defensive investment. But I can actually take a modest Thunderbolt from the circuitry. Not that I can do much back to it, but this is also there in case the mana fee is set up, and I can take a +3 Surf, get up Seeds, Protect, and all that sort of stuff to be able to do stuff. I like the set. Sub Lead Sheet is very nice to 1v1 the Registeel. You take advantage of the Florges as well. You can take advantage of the Kyurem if he's locked into a move that I can't be touched by. Although I am worried about it being a little too passive for the Manaphy and the Circuitry, because those guys can set up on this and, without punishment whatsoever. Sub Circuitry doesn't really fear me, because if he's Sub Circuitry, that would mean he either doesn't have setup or he doesn't have enough coverage. And what I mean by that is, if he's running Substitute, he's probably going to have Tail Glow, and if he has Sub and Tail Glow, he's going to miss out coverage on something. Because he'll definitely have Electric Stab, and then his last move is either going to be something like Dazzling Gleam. If he's Dazzling Gleam, Rotom walls, even Mamoswine probably walls too. If he's Energy Ball, Rotom walls again, Latios walls. So I'm not worried about the Sub Circuitry, but Sub Manaphy could be an issue, and we all talked about this prior to this game. Sub Manaphy with like a Salac Berry could be very threatening. So we ultimately decided just to risk it because we feel like our team can handle it pretty well already. So we just risked the biscuit and went for Heavy Slam, Sub Seed, and Protect. Pretty predictable, but we felt it was a good enough strat just because it takes advantage of that Registeel so much. And, we wanted to take advantage of his slow, fat mons. And finally, we have Vepsis, the Latios. This set came up by Jacob. This is a Calm Mind, Thunderbolt, Psyshock, and Roost set. This actually allows me to set up on his Florges, which is pretty nuts because at +1, a Moonblast from an uninvested Florges actually doesn't 2-shot me. So I can actually set up on Florges as long as it isn't toxic and, break it down with Psyshock. And of course, the only 2 mons that have anything to say about this set is the Hoopa Unbound and the Registeel. But I prepped heavily for those 2, so I feel like Latios can have a big game here. And this mixed bulky set will definitely help in me setting up. So with all of that being said, guys, this is the Rangers squad for week 4. As you guys can probably tell, it does look a little bit different than what I normally run on stuff. normal weeks. I mean, actually, it kind of looks similar to what I would normally run, but I really felt confident with this team. I feel confident going into this game because of my fresh front office and what they can do. So going into this game, I'm really excited to finally get this battle with my fresh front office. I know I'm saying fresh a lot, but please forgive me. But ultimately, I look forward to it, guys. I apologize for the longer video, but I did want to talk about the front office, but I did more of that in my other video this week, so make sure you guys go check it out. And of course, hope you guys enjoyed that builder. Hopefully, we can grab a win in pursuit of our championship. I will see you guys tomorrow for the game. Hope to see y'all then. Go Rangers!